Welcome to the Mind Life channel, and this is John, and I'm here to dissect this week's video. And we are talking about how we can control our worrying. The Mind Life channel doesn't just talk about our thoughts, it untangles them, so we are better versed to understand our thinking by knowing how our minds work. It is all too often that we believe that our thoughts should always be prim and proper. And yet, what happens when it's not? Well, this video will take a deep dive into our minds and what it does when we worry, and also offer some help to correct ourselves into a better equilibrium of thought. And this is the purpose of the Mind Life channel, to build our own wisdom by learning about how our minds work, so we can then understand the behaviour of others and even ourselves. To show your support, please press the like button, subscribe to the Mind Life channel, leave your comments, and click the notification bell to be aware of future videos. This is how we can control our worrying, and I look forward to seeing you on our next journey. Over the course of a given day, if we consider the number of thoughts we could conceive, well, it's almost incalculable. And some of these thoughts are healthy and some are not. And yet, what do we do when we turn ourselves into worry? We may try to escape from them, immerse ourselves into other activities, be reactive or over-critique ourselves. We could also show great courage and investigate them. This video will talk about what we tend to do when we worry and provide insight on what we could do to help ourselves through it. At first, let us briefly explore one of the most complex pieces of technology which we all have, and that is the human mind. Our brains are an intricate network of neurons that sends and receives signals that generate our behaviours. This also expands to our spinal cord as part of our central nervous system, which filters through our entire body. So why is knowing this so important? As with a simple appreciation of our brain, can provide us the insight to understand the different ways that we can manage our mental rumination by utilising all parts of our brain, as if it were a human toolbox. For instance, when our worry makes us defensive, stages of hyper-alertness and anxiety, we use our lower brainstem in fight or flight. Alternatively, when our worries outpour emotions, become struck in grief, realise the forms of our troubled fears. Or even when we turn to substances or technology to seek comfort and reward, we use our brain's mid-limbic system. And yet, we can also rationalise our way through worry, engage in social activity, show empathy, and use our imaginations and creativity. This deploys our upper cortical regions to think things through and solve problems logically, while still accessing our emotions and keeping tabs on all parts of our body. So, if we consider our minds like a mental toolbox, we can see the different ways of how we can react with worry. And if we can do this effectively, we can develop what clinical professor of psychiatry Daniel Siegel calls a mental window of tolerance. The question is, how can we open this window? For a mental system such as our brains that constantly strives for regularity against our worries, we have one distinct challenge, and that is that we are simply emotional beings. And yet, emotion is in essence a motion. It is either positive or negative, and we need emotion to survive as it spurs our motivations. Emotion, though, can also derail us into worry. So the solution to aid ourselves through worry is when we decide to use all the tools within our brain. We can open this window of tolerance and use our minds effectively. As to be defensive and emotional are automatic reactions that use mainly the lower to mid sectors of our brain. However, when we decide to switch to our upper cortical area, we are applying all of our mental tools to consider patience, reflection, and rationalise our way through our problems. We can notice all of our reactions and then reaffirm ourselves of our safety, recognise the signs and readapt ourselves. As it is normal for us to worry, but the difference is that we do this within a safe mental zone, where we become privy to all of our worrisome thoughts, but not let it affect us too much. We learn to connect effectively with others and what is around us, keeping our feet firm towards the ground, and not becoming stuck in our lines of thought. We are better motivated, allow our emotions, but not being controlled by them, and a belief that we have full control of our lives, not believing that all of our negative feelings mean a bad result. How we think and feel is all integrated and connected, as we are all susceptible to worry, and yet prolonged by our perseverance